took her to Santorini, the same suite, the same dates, the same white balcony I chose for our honeymoon, the one I paid for. He didn't even bother changing the reservation. I saw the photo by accident, his arm around her waist, her hand on his chest. My itinerary, my sunset view, my money wrapped in a smiling hashtag, new beginnings. She wore the ring I helped pick out, not even a year after he left, not even a month after I wired the refund back into his account because he said, "It's only fair. You earn more." I thought we ended with dignity. Quiet pain, muted grief, but this wasn't quiet. This was a public execution. People say heartbreak feels like drowning. No, this felt like theft, like someone stripped my skin off and wore it better. And I stood there, jaw clenched, fists full of receipts, wondering how long they'd been planning it, and why it still hurt like love. I didn't cry. That's what surprises people, like pain's not valid unless you fall apart in public. But I didn't give them that. Not him, not her, not anyone watching. Still there. Every confirmation, every email, every goddamn breakfast reservation. He didn't even bother changing the name on the spot booking. It still said My Green. I scrolled until I hit the bottom and found the transfer receipt. $5,482. Sent to him directly. "Oh, book it," he'd said. "You've already done so much." Right. Booked it under my money, then handed it to his wife. The timeline doesn't make sense. We split 9 months ago. He married her 5 months after. Which means no, I'm not spiraling. I'm tracking. I'm doing the math. And it's adding up to something disgusting. This was a rebound love. This was premeditated. They'd been sleeping together. I knew it in the same way you know you're about to be sick before your body confirms it. Something in me had already accepted it. I just hadn't opened the door yet. But now, it's wide open. He met Savannah at his old firm. She used to run their social media. I remember her dimples, oversized blazers, too much perfume. I didn't clock her as a threat. That's the joke, right? The woman always blames the other woman. But I don't blame her. Not fully. She didn't lie in my bed and tell me he was just tired. She didn't ask me to pay for a suite and then take another woman to it. She didn't promise me forever, then marry someone else before our mattress stopped remembering his weight. He did that. He built this story on my spine, then replaced me like I was furniture. And now he's in my suite sipping wine, while I sit here reading lies. But this isn't grief anymore. This is clarity. I screenshotted everything. Not because I needed proof, but because I needed control. My rage needed something to hold, something hard and digital and indisputable. There was a dinner reservation in my name, a couple's massage booked for Liam and Mai. He hadn't even bothered changing the spa records. I called the resort, asked if I could confirm a cancellation for My Green. "Your appointment is still scheduled for tomorrow at 3 p.m., the woman said cheerfully. I thanked her, hung up. My hands were ice. He was still using my name, still taking from me like I was an account he hadn't fully drained. And the worst part, I let him. I gave him the refund. I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I gave him my silence. But I'm done giving. Let him enjoy the view while it lasts. Because I'm not sending messages anymore. I'm sending consequences. I booked a one-way ticket, not to chase him, to confront the ghost of what I gave away. I needed to stand where I was erased and remind the world that was mine. The concierge recognized my name when I called. "Ms. Green, we hope you're enjoying your stay." I smiled. "Not yet, but I will be." I didn't correct her. Let her assume I was already there. I packed light. I brought receipts. I didn't tell anyone, not even Jules, because this isn't about venting anymore. This is about taking back the narrative. My narrative. He thinks I'm still back home, crying over a man who can't hold a promise or a passport without my money. He thinks I'm weak because I was kind. This wrong. I'm not showing up to fight. I'm showing up to be seen. To make him flinch. To watch her realize she married a fraud. And to remind them both, I'm not the woman you forget. I'm the woman you regret. The seatbelt clicked. The plane lifted. I didn't blink. Santorini wasn't a vacation anymore. It was a battleground. I didn't pack for beaches or photos. I packed for impact, the original receipts, printed and stapled. Screenshots. The ring box I found at the back of my drawer, still velvet, still unopened. He was going to see it. She was going to feel it. The airline steward offered me champagne. I refused. I didn't want bubbles. I wanted blood. He took my money, my future, my plans, and repackaged them for a wedding album. They posted a picture last night in the plunge pool. My plunge pool. I knew the angle. I took test shots from that same edge 6 months ago. He kissed her neck in that photo, the same way he used to kiss mine when he thought I was asleep. I wasn't, and I'm not now. You can't destroy someone's life and then toast in the wreckage. Not without someone crawling out of it. The moment I stepped into the resort lobby, it hit me. I remembered everything, the brochures I obsessed over, the hours spent picking the exact suite. The sea breeze smelled the same, but the air felt colder now. Harder. Reservation under Liam Holden, I said. The woman behind the desk smiled. Yes, Mr. Holden and his wife just checked in yesterday. Are you joining them? I smiled back sharp. Not exactly. I left the keycard on the desk. I didn't need access. I had something better. Timing. I knew when they'd be at dinner. I knew the restaurant. I picked it. The chef emailed me confirmation months ago. I still had the reservation under my name in my inbox. I changed the guest list. Table for 3. I want to see his face drop when he realizes he's not in control. I want to see her confusion turn to panic. I'm not coming to scream. I'm coming to serve silence with a side of truth. And maybe, if I'm lucky, a broken vow for dessert. I watched them from across the restaurant. They were already seated, him in a crisp white shirt I bought last winter, her wearing something silky and expensive looking, probably on my dime. They held hands across the table like a couple from a destination wedding blog. I didn't look away. The hostess approached with the wine list, then turned to me. Are you joining your party, Miss Green? That name still had weight here. I nodded. Not yet. Let them enjoy the first course. From my angle, I could see their plates, their posturing, the false laughter that couples force when they know the world is watching. They didn't know I was watching. The sommelier brought out a bottle of wine, the one I ordered before I canceled our trip. A bold red. To dry for her, I bet. She took one sip, smiled politely, set it aside. Good. Let her taste the life she stole. Let her gag on the bitterness. The truth hasn't even arrived yet, and I've already ruined the flavor. We walked in after the appetizers. The table was candlelit, private, intimate. Perfect, just like I'd planned it last year, when I still thought he was worth building forever with. He saw me first, fork halfway to his mouth, hand frozen. His expression cracked just for a second, then snapped back into something forced. Savannah turned confused. Recognition took longer for her. I didn't sit. I didn't smile. I laid a small white envelope on the table. Inside, my refund receipt, the original booking, and a photo of the ring he never gave me. I said one thing: you paid for nothing. Then I turned to her. She opened the envelope, pulled out the papers with shaking fingers. I watched her face collapse slowly, beautifully. He reached for me. I stepped back. Don't touch me. My voice was calm, sharp enough to cut the linen between us. Enjoy your dinner, I said, and left. I didn't need to scream. He'd have to explain everything later, and she'd never be able to taste anything again without wondering what else she swallowed that wasn't hers. I didn't look back. I walked through that restaurant like I still owned the air. Because I did. He took my money. She took my seat. But they'll never take my dignity. That part's not for sale, not anymore. Outside, the breeze hit my face like a reward. Jules texted. Are you okay? I replied no, but I'm finally not lying about it. Back in my suite, the new one I booked for myself, I poured a glass of wine. I didn't toast. This wasn't a victory. It was an exorcism. I thought I needed revenge. What I actually needed was witnessing. To see the look on his face when he realized he couldn't spin this. To watch her confidence collapse under the weight of a truth she pretended not to know. I didn't need to destroy them. I just needed them to see me. And now they can't unsee it. Next morning, there was a knock. Room service? No, not quite. A handwritten note tucked under a silver tray. No name on the outside, but I knew who it was from. We need to talk. I didn't. I made coffee, opened the windows, let the sun warm the back of my neck while I deleted his number for the third and final time. There's no conversation that makes theft romantic. No apology that rewrites a betrayal paid in bank transfers and broken trust. Still, I folded the note carefully. I wasn't sentimental, just strategic. You never know when someone's lies might come in handy later. I left the tray untouched. Downstairs, I booked an excursion, a lone boat tour. Hidden caves, cliffside wine tasting. Every line of that itinerary used to be ours. Now it's mine. They're probably still arguing, still rewriting timelines, still trying to find a version of their story that doesn't make them monsters. They won't find one, because the truth doesn't change, just the person willing to say it out loud. He followed me. Not immediately, but by nightfall, he was standing in the lobby, nervous, out of place in that same shirt from dinner, wrinkled, now desperate. I didn't stop walking. "Mai," he called. "Please." The concierge looked at me for direction. I nodded. He doesn't need to be here. They escorted him out. Quiet. Clean. I kept walking to the elevator. No drama. No final scene. That's what he wanted, not closure, but control. One more conversation where he could twist the truth, remind me of our good days, ask for forgiveness without ever earning it. But I'm not confused anymore. He didn't just fall in love with someone else. He used me to finance it. He took my generosity and cashed it into a wedding ring. And now he wants peace. He can make peace with silence. And maybe, if he's lucky, with his own reflection, the one that will never look heroic again. I found Savannah by the pool. Not by accident, she wanted to be seen. Hair perfect, drink untouched, sunglasses low on her nose like she couldn't quite meet the sunlight anymore. I walked past her chair slowly. She didn't flinch. But as I reached the edge of the walkway, she spoke. You knew, she said, even before last night. I turned. Yes. She took off the glasses. Her eyes were bloodshot, mascara smudged in the corners. He told me it was over. That it was just a refund. That you, I raised a hand, not to hit her, just to stop the lie from forming. He used us both, I said. The only difference is I paid for it. She nodded once. No fight left. No pride either. I hated her. Instead, I pitied her. She was married to someone it already buried. And she hadn't realized she was digging her own grave beside his. I stayed one more night. Not out of fear. Not out of indecision. Out of defiance. I booked a table alone at the rooftop bar. Ordered the most expensive wine. Sat with my back to the couple in the corner I knew was them. Let him feel at the presence of the woman who built the life he tried to steal. Let her wonder what I know that she doesn't. I didn't stare. I didn't toast. I just existed. Fully. Lovely. Alone. They left before dessert. Good. They don't deserve sweetness anymore. That night, I walked along the cliffs by the ocean. My shadow stretched long behind me, tall and sharp in the moonlight. The kind of shadow that doesn't follow anyone. I used to think closure meant someone else giving you the right words. It doesn't. It means choosing not to need them anymore. It means leaving the lock behind and walking away with the key. The plane home felt lighter. I didn't carry shame anymore. I carried proof not of what they did, but of what I survived. I posted one photo. Just one. Me on the cliff's eye. Wind in my hair, no filter. No caption. Just coordinates tagged to the view they'd tried to steal. By the time we landed, my inbox was full. Jules, coworkers, even my aunt from Chicago. You look radiant. Did you go with someone? Is that where they are right now? I didn't answer, because I'm done explaining myself. Let them wonder. Let him scroll through my profile and see what freedom looks like. Let her stare at the screen and realize I smiled in the exact spot she cried. Revenge isn't fire. It's stillness. It's leaving behind the mess they made, without needing to mop it up. And it's knowing that when they finally look for a version of the story that makes them innocent, they won't find one. The apartment felt unfamiliar when I walked in. Same couch. Same shoes by the door. Same coffee mug on the sink. But something had changed, not the space me. I unpacked slowly. I didn't rush to wash the clothes that still smelled like salt air and something clean, something like closure. My phone buzzed. A message from Liam. I owe you everything. I'm sorry. No punctuation. No effort. I didn't delete it. I didn't respond. I screenshotted it. Titled the image, Closure Attempt 1. It stopped hoping for an apology with depth. I only needed receipts. Not to expose him, to protect me. Because I knew him now. The patterns. The pivots. The way he'd used guilt like a gift. Hoping it would soften me. I don't want softness. I want distance. And I finally earned it. Jules showed up with wine and a look. You did it, didn't you? She asked. I nodded. Just once. She sat, poured the glasses and waited. I told her everything. The photo. The reservation. The confrontation. Her hand flew to her mouth more than once, but she didn't interrupt. Not once. When I finished, she leaned back and said, I hope they never sleep right again. I laughed. For real this time. It wasn't about destroying them. It was about detaching from them. I didn't want revenge anymore. I wanted immunity. They're going to spin it, she warned. You know that, right? They already are, I said. But I have facts. Proof. I kept everything. The refund transfer. The messages. The booking receipts. Just in case. Not because I need people to take sides. But because if he ever tries to rewrite history, I'll publish the original. And let him read his own guilt in print. I started writing. Not for him. Not about him. For me. Paragraphs turned into chapters. Chapters into files. There was something therapeutic about naming the betrayal, detailing it with precision. It wasn't a journal. It was a record. I titled the file, What He Took. And the second file, What I Got Back. The second one grew faster. It had things like my time, my boundaries, my self-worth, interest included, my silence traded in for votes. I applied for a new job last week, one I turned down last year to stay close to him. I wrote the cover letter in the same tone I used when I laid that envelope on the dinner table. Clear, firm, unapologetic. He built a future on my back. Now I'm building one on my own. And it doesn't shake when someone else walks away. He called today. I let it ring. I already knew what he'd say, a mix of half regret and half hope. Maybe he wanted closure. Maybe he wanted forgiveness. Maybe he just wanted to feel like a good man again. But I'm not his confessional. I owe him nothing. Not even my attention. Later, he texted, she left. I didn't reply. That's the cost of using people like placeholders. Eventually, they figure it out. And while he spirals, I'm moving forward. I booked a trip not to escape, but to explore. Alone. Intentionally. No couple suite. No second toothbrush. Just me. Fully funded by me. This time, I'll make memories no one else can steal. And if he ever walks into a place I've been, let it haunt him.
I stared at her, trying to read her face. She looked so sincere, so innocent. If I hadn't read her diary, I would have believed her. Over the next few days, I noticed a pattern. Every time I did something, even something small, Elena would twist it into a flaw. If I forgot to take out the trash, she'd sigh and say, "Wow, you've been so forgetful lately. Are you okay?" If I wore an old shirt, she'd smirk. "You really don't care about looking good anymore, do you?" If I was quiet for a while, she'd tilt her head and ask, "What's wrong? You've been so distant." Individually, these comments were harmless, but strung together, they were like tiny cracks forming in the walls of my mind. Then Aaron called me out of the blue. "Dude, are you okay?" he asked. "Why is everyone asking me that?" I snapped. "Because Elena said you've been drinking a lot." I told her I didn't see it. "But is something going on?" I froze. I barely drink. Maybe a beer or two on weekends, but nothing more. The fact that she was spreading these lies made my skin crawl. That night, I waited until Elena fell asleep and checked the diary again. The latest entry read is starting to push back. "I need to be more subtle. Aaron bought the drinking star, even asked me if I was worried about James." Perfect. Next, they'll make Sarah think he's unstable. Just a few comments here and there. She'll believe me. My blood boiled. Unstable. What the hell was she trying to achieve? Did she want to ruin my life, just to prove she could? The next morning, I decided to push her buttons. Over breakfast I said, "Funny thing. Aaron asked me if I was drinking too much. I wonder where he got that idea." Elena paused, her spoon halfway to her mouth. "I have no idea. Maybe it's just concern." "Really?" I said, staring at her. "Because I feel like someone's been talking behind my back." She gave me a soft, pitying smile. "James, you're imagining things. I think you're just stressed. You're not paranoid, are you?" The way she said paranoid made me want to throw something. She was gaslighting me, right to my face. It hit me then if I confronted her directly. She'd twist it all around, make me look like the crazy one. I needed proof. Hard, undeniable proof that she was behind all of this. I started recording our conversations, leaving my phone on record when we talked. I also began taking photos of her diary entries, page by page, whenever I got the chance. That night, I pretended to be asleep while she wrote in her diary. I cracked my eyes open just enough to see her face. She wasn't smiling or frowning, she was expressionless, her pen scratching across the page like she was drafting a battle plan. The woman I loved wasn't there anymore. Maybe she never was. By the end of the week, I had dozens of photos of her diary and several recordings of her subtle manipulations. But I wasn't sure what to do next. Should I confront her with the evidence? Should I go to my friends and tell them the truth? Or should I play her game a little longer and take her down on my terms? I woke up the next morning with a pit in my stomach. Elena's mask of sweetness was wearing thin, and now that I knew the truth, every word out of her mouth sounded like manipulation. I couldn't live like this anymore, caught between pretending I didn't know and the growing urge to confront her. But I wasn't ready yet. I needed proof, solid, undeniable evidence. If I went up against Elena without it, she'd twist everything back on me. She'd make me look like the unstable one, and judging by her diary, she'd already started laying that groundwork. I started by checking her phone, but Elena was careful. She had a passcode, and had never tried to unlock it before. Nah, I watched her fingers when she texted or scrolled, memorizing the pattern of numbers she tapped. Late that night, when she was in the shower, I finally got in. Most of her messages were innocent texts to her sister, work emails, a few chats with friends. But then I found a thread with someone named her. There were cryptic messages like, "Is starting to doubt himself. Aaron believes me. Next step is work. By next month, he'll have nowhere to run." I stared at the screen, my chest tightening. Who the hell was R? Was she doing this for someone else? The next day, I checked in with Sarah at work again. "Has Elena been saying things about me?" I asked casually, trying to sound nonchalant. Sarah hesitated. "Not much, just that you've been stressed. She said she's worried about you burning out." Burning out? She was planting the seeds again. "Did she mention anything else?" I asked. Sarah shrugged. "She asked me if you've been missing deadlines." I told her no, but it was a weird question. Weird was an understatement. Elena was setting me up to look incompetent. That night, while Elena slept, I scrolled through her diary photos again, piecing together the timeline of her phases. Each entry was colder and more calculated than the last. R agrees this is the best way to break him. The isolation is working. Aaron trusts me more than him now. Who was R? The name kept popping up like some shadow in the background. Was it a friend? An ex? Or was it someone who wanted me gone just as much as she did? I decided to come clean, at least to Aaron. I invited him for a drink, away from Elena's watchful eyes. "You're gonna think I'm crazy," I said, lowering my voice. but I think Elena is doing something. She's been saying things to you about me, hasn't she? Sarah was again paranoid. She wanted me to doubt myself, but I wasn't falling for it anymore. When she went to bed, I sent Erin screenshots of the messages and diary pages. She's escalating, I texted. I think she wants me to lose it so she can say I'm unstable. Erin replied, then don't give her what she wants. Well, outsmart her. Get proof, and well, confront her together. As I sat there, looking at the photos of her diary, I realized something chilling. Elena wasn't just trying to ruin me. She was enjoying it. It's almost too easy. He trusts me so much. I can't wait to see how he reacts when everything crumbles. Not if I crumble her plan first. By now, I was done playing defense. Elena's plan was escalating, and I could see her confidence growing. Every day, she'd slip in another comment meant to chip away at me. Are you sure your boss likes you? You've been coming home tense lately. Erin told me he's worried you're not yourself anymore. You've been losing focus, James. I'm just concerned. She said concerned the way a spider might say it was concerned about the fly caught in its web. But I wasn't her fly anymore. Erin and I talked over the phone late one night. She's planting seeds everywhere, I said. I need to catch her in the act. Something I can throw back in her face where she can't deny it. Erin hesitated. What's your plan? I'm gonna feed her a story, I said. Something completely false. If she repeats it to anyone, he'll know. And he'll record her when she slips. What story? That I got a warning at work for being late. They'll tell her I'm worried about my job. If Sarah or Mark mentions it to me, they'll know exactly where it came from. The next morning, I casually dropped it into conversation while Elena made coffee. Mark pulled me aside yesterday, I said, rubbing the back of my neck. It's not happy with me. I might be on thin ice. Elena's eyes lit up, not with sympathy, but something colder, something calculating. Oh no, she said softly. I'm so sorry, James. What happened? I shrugged, pretending to be embarrassed. I was late a few times. I just hope it doesn't cost me my job. She reached over and touched my hand. Don't worry, they'll always take care of you. The words sounded like poison. That night, when she fell asleep, I checked the diary. There was a new entry, dated that same day. He admitted he's on thin ice at work. Perfect. They'll confirm it with Sarah tomorrow. Make it sound like I'm worried. Once they all think he's failing, hell spiral. My chest tightened. She had taken the bait. 2 days later, Sarah called me. Hey James, are you okay? Elena mentioned you might be having trouble at work. I was surprised I haven't heard anything from Mark. I clenched my jaw. There it was. Yeah, I said, trying to sound casual. It's just been a stressful week. But inside, I was grinning. I had her. That evening, I set my phone on the kitchen counter, recording audio while Elena cooked. Sarah asked me about work today, I said casually. Did you talk to her? Elena paused, Neff hovering over the cutting board. Oh yeah, I might mention you've been stressed. I just care about you, James. I don't want people thinking you're struggling. You told them I was struggling, I said, my voice calm but firm. Her tone softened, sweet as sugar. I was just trying to help. You're imagining the worst. Click. I stopped recording. I had her voice on tape, now proof of her lies. But there was still the mystery of her. I couldn't stop thinking about those messages on her phone. Who was helping her? That night, while she was showering, I checked again. There was a new message. Keep going. The more he doubts himself, the easier it'll be to take control. Take control? Of what? My job, my life, my sanity? I scrolled up the thread. A few messages were even creepier. Remember what we talked about, needs to hit rock bottom first. Don't let him see you break character. He has to believe you're his only support. When I told Aaron about her, he got quiet. What if it's someone from your work? Someone who wants your position? Maybe Elena's feeding them info. The idea chilled me. Or, I said slowly, it could be her ex. She mentioned once she dated a guy who liked mind games. Maybe she's still in contact with him. Aaron whistled. Man, this is getting darker by the day. What's your next move? I need to end this, I said. I'm done playing games. They'll confront her this weekend. They'll show her I know everything, diary, the texts, all of it. You sure if that's smart? Aaron asked. Not sure, I admitted. But I can't keep living like this. Over the next 2 days, I acted like everything was normal. I laughed at Elena's jokes, kissed her goodnight, and pretended not to notice when she accidentally slipped in another comment meant to undermine me. But inside, I was counting down the hours until it'd flipped the script. The night before I planned to confront her, I read her diary one last time. The latest entry chilled me to the bone. It's almost where I want him isolated, doubting himself. Or says just a little longer. They'll have complete control soon. Maybe then he'll see how much he needs me. No, I didn't need her. I was done being her experiment. I set up a folder on my laptop with all my evidence, photos of her diary, audio recordings of her lies, screenshots of texts. I even emailed the folder to Erin, just in case something happened. Tomorrow, I'd confront her, and this time, she wouldn't be able to gaslight her way out of it. The next evening, I decided it was time. Elena was curled up on the couch, scrolling on her phone like nothing was wrong, but had spent days collecting evidence, screenshots of her diary, audio recordings, text messages. I wasn't going to let her play me anymore. Elena, I said calmly, taking a seat across from her. We need to talk. She looked up, her smile bright but cautious. Talk? About what? About Erin. About Sarah. About the things you've been telling them about me. She tilted her head. What things? You know exactly what things, I said. That I'm unstable. That I'm drinking too much. That I'm failing at work. Her smile didn't falter, but there was something behind her ice calculation. James, you're imagining things again. I'm just worried about you. I've always been worried about you. I pulled out my phone and hit play on the recording he'd taken the night before. Sarah asked me about work today, I said on the recording. Did you talk to her? Elena's voice followed, crystal clear. Oh, yeah, I might have mentioned you've been stressed. I just care about you, James. I don't want people thinking you're struggling. I stopped the recording. So, still think I'm imagining things? Elena's smile faded, replaced by something colder. So you've been recording me now? Snooping through my private conversations? What kind of man does that? The kind who finds a diary with plan to break him written in it. I shot back. The kind who's tired of being played. Her face hardened. You went through my diary? Yes, I said, my voice firm. And I know everything. Every step of your plan. Every lie you've told about me. And I know about our. For the first time, I saw real surprise flicker across her face. You know about our? Yeah. Who is it? Your ex? Someone you're working with? Whoever it is, you've been plotting against me together. Elena laughed softly at first, then louder. It wasn't her usual laugh. It was sharp, cold, and unsettling. You really think I need help to break you? James? I clenched my fists. You wrote it all down, Elena. You've been sabotaging my friendships, my job. What the hell did I do to you? She leaned back, crossing her arms. You don't get it, do you? You walk around like you're untouchable. Like everyone loves you. You're charming, funny, successful, and I wanted to see what would happen if all that was stripped away. If I could break the perfect man. Her words hit me like a punch to the gut. So this was all a game to you? Her smile was back, cold and razor sharp. Everything's a game, James. And I always win. I stood, my heart pounding. Not this time. I've got everything, your diary, your recordings, your texts. You can't twist this. Elena's eyes narrowed. And what are you going to do with it? Show Erin? He already doubts you. Show your boss? They'll just see a paranoid boyfriend digging through his girlfriend's stuff. I swallowed hard, realizing she might have a point. She had been laying this groundwork for weeks, maybe months. If I wasn't careful, she'd make me look like the crazy one. Leave, I said, my voice low and firm. Pack your things and get out. Tonight. Elena stood slowly, her eyes never leaving mine. Well, what? We'll tell everyone I'm some kind of monster. Go ahead. You'll only look worse. I stepped closer. I'm done with your games. You're leaving. End of story. She smiled again this time. It was chilling. You think this ends just because you tell me to leave? I've already planted the seeds, James. People believe me. They always believe me. Even Erin. My chest tightened. You're bluffing. Am I? She said softly. Ask him what I told him about you. Or ask Sarah. Better yet, wait until your boss starts looking at you differently. He hesitated but agreed. I sent him the photos I'd taken of Elena's diary, pages detailing her plan to break me, to turn him against me, to sabotage my work reputation. After a few minutes, Erin called back. Holy James, this is insane. She really wrote this? Every word, I said. I wasn't lying when I said she's been manipulating all of us. Erin let out a low whistle. She called me this morning, said you threatened her, said you were losing it. I didn't know what to believe, but now, man, this is next level. With Erin on my side, I knew I could tackle the rest. I forwarded the diary photos and my audio recordings to Sarah with a brief message. Elena's been lying. Here's proof. I'm not burned out. I'm not unstable. She's been planting these stories to sabotage me. Sarah's reply came within minutes. Wow. I had no idea. I'm so sorry, James. I believed her. I won't anymore. For the first time in weeks, I felt the ground under my feet again. By noon I got a text from Elena. Enjoy your little victory. You think anyone will believe you over me? You're just making yourself look guilty. I didn't reply. Instead, I uploaded every photo of her diary, every audio clip into a private cloud folder, and sent the link to Erin and Sarah with one instruction. If anything happens, you know what to do. 2 days later, Elena showed up at my door. I almost didn't open it, but I wanted this to end on my terms. She stood there with a cold smile. So this is how it's going to be. You're going to drag my name through the mud because you can't handle the truth. The truth, I said, holding up her diary. You mean the truth about how you tried to isolate me, ruin my friendships, sabotage my job? That truth, her smile faltered for the first time. You read that out of context. It was just me venting. I laughed bitterly. Phase 2. Destroy his reputation. That's some venting. I stepped closer, my voice steady. I sent everything to Aaron and Sarah. Everyone knows what you've been doing. You can't twist this anymore. It's over, Elena. She glared at me, her jaw tight. You think you're safe because of them? I can find someone else. Someone who'll believe me. Not my problem anymore, I said, and shut the door in her face. The next few days were quieterly quiet. I half expected Elena to try something else, but aside from a few angry texts, she stayed away. Aaron stopped by with a six-pack and a grin. She's done, he said. Sarah told me Elena tried to call her, but Sarah shut her down. I think she's out of moves. Good, I said, exhaling. I'm done with her games. I spent the weekend cleaning the apartment, throwing out the things Elena had left behind, deleting her photos from my phone. Every trace of her felt like a shadow I needed to purge. For the first time in months, I felt lighter, free. As I tossed the last of her things into a box, I found one final page in the diary I hadn't seen before. It wasn't about me, it was about the next person. If James figures it out, he'll move on. There are always others. Someone will play the game with me. I stared at the page, a chill creeping down my spine. Elena wasn't done, she'd just move on to someone else. But that wasn't my battle anymore. It survived her, and that was enough. A week later, I got a text from an unknown number. This is Lisa. I don't know you, but I think Elena is dating my friend now. She said you're crazy. Is that true? I stared at the message for a long time. Then I sent the link to the cloud folder with all the evidence. Read this, I wrote. Then decide for yourself.